Welcome to the Golf Spotlight. I'm Ralph Irvin, and today we are at the headquarters of TaylorMade Golf to look at their new golf balls and to tell us all about them. Who else do we want to talk to but the Director of Golf Ball R&D? That's Eric Loper. Eric, thanks for joining us again.
Yeah, thanks for coming. Appreciate it.
You have a brand new couple of balls,
Yes.
the TP5 and TP5X, where you have reintroduced 5 layers to the golf ball.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, the 5 layers isn't something new for us. And what we've done is we've reinvented it, and we've made some significant changes to make the performance advantages on course noticeable.
What you've done is made a long ball that lands softly.
Yeah, really our goal was to design a complete golf ball. We wanted it to be long off the tee, we wanted it to be controllable around the greens, and we wanted it to be longer with your irons through control and lower backspin so you maximize distance.
Well, let's start at the core,
Yeah.
really, which is where it all gets started, that you've gone extremely soft at the center of these golf balls.
Yeah, so with the both the TP5 and TP5X, we have a tri-fast core, which is a 3-layer construction. It starts with a very soft polybutadiene rubber. On the TP5X, it's 25 compression, and on the TP5, it's 16. And what happens under impact is that's going to help minimize the backspin on shots where you deform the golf ball with your driver and with your irons. So we're pulling backspin out on those shots, which ultimately is going to give the players more distance through less drag. And then what we have is the dual spin cover of the 2 layers on the outside of the golf ball, where we have a rigid inner layer and then the soft cast urethane cover, which really generates the spin around the green on those short shots.
Now, a lot of people are going to say, well, if you're decreasing the spin with my irons, then I'm not going to stop the ball as well, but that's not the case here.
That is not the case. I get that feedback a lot. So what we're doing with the TP5 and TP5X is we're pulling out a lot of spin with your irons. And what I think most people would say, why would I want that? And you want that because you get more distance, because if you're using backspin to create lift, to get to your peak height, so that ultimately you can hold the greens, is you create more drag and lose distance. What we're doing is we're coupling lower backspin with higher launch angle so that the ball's going to achieve the apex of the flight so that it lands softly on the green. But since we're getting there through lower backspin, there's less drag and ultimately more distance. And we're seeing about a half to full club length longer with your irons.
And again, you add that extra distance, that's going to increase the loft, which in itself is going to help the ball stop on the green.
Yeah, basically what we've seen out on course is the player, instead of hitting a 6-iron, would be hitting a 7-iron. Instead of a 4-iron, would be hitting a 5-iron. So ultimately, they're going to be playing a club that's going to allow them to be more consistent, and they're going to get the distance that they would with their longer club.
So you have the TP5 and the TP5X. What's the difference between the two?
Well, really, they're both based on our 5-layer construction, and they're actually quite different. The TP5 is designed for the player that's looking for great wind performance, long distance off the tee, but softer feel around the green. It's 83 compression. It's really for that player that values that soft feel and the control around the green. Now, the TP5X is designed, again, for great distance into the wind, more iron distance, excellent control around the green, but it's going to feel more solid. So there are players out there that I work with that like that feedback. They feel like they can pinch the cover a little bit better with the TP5X. And then there's players out there that like the softer sound and the control of the TP5. But both of them are going to perform excellent around the green. It just really comes down to what is your field preference.
One thing that a lot of consumers probably have seen out in the marketplace is the reaction that players had to these balls. Describe what it was like showing these balls to professionals for the first time.
Yeah, we started in our normal development processes. We do all of our prototyping in the lab. We do our mechanical and internal player testing here. And then once we feel like we have something that's worth presenting to the tour players, the PGA Tour players, then we'll go out there and work with them and get their feedback. And we always validate our designs prior to launching a new golf ball. So we first introduced the ball to the tour players just for feedback last June. And I think from my perspective, what was interesting is the players noticed the difference. They saw the ball launching higher, than their current ball. They were seeing that the ball was achieving the peak height and it was holding the green, because we don't want to just design a distance golf ball. We want the ball to be controllable. And the way they were achieving that through lower spin was all plus, and they could actually see it. And they were seeing, some players were seeing 10, 12-yard gains. So that was significant. And some other players were seeing 4 to 5. So there's quite a range there. But for them to play a product and actually see those performance benefits was great. I mean, they were shocked, and they're like, how are you doing this? How are you pulling the spin out without me losing control around the green? And it really comes back to that 5-layer construction.
Now, if people want more information about the TP5 and TP5X and really to get into the weeds of all the tech, where can they get that info?
I would go to www.taylormadegolf.com. We should have a lot of information on the website.
All right, Eric, thanks for joining us again.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
I want to thank Eric Loper for joining us here on the Golf Spotlight. Join us next time as we continue to give you the information that you need for your next golf purchase.